evening and welcome to the Left, Right and Centre. Tonight, it's the first day at work for a new government in Delhi, one that has arrived and how on the capital political stage. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his team have made many promises to the people of the city, from better safety for its women to free water and electricity and citizens' empowerment on civic issues. All these require not just a strong government, which they bring with their mandate, but ultimately the cooperation of Delhi's citizens as well and the central government. The big question, where will the money come from to fulfill so many of these promises? The knives, of course, are already out on his first day, but isn't it too soon to judge? Also on the show tonight, from Delhi to West Bengal, the Trinamool Congress has won significant Lok Sabha by-polls today in spite of all indications of a rift within the party. Mamata Banerjee calls it a miracle and insists that Trinamool is a united family. But first, the Aam Aadmi Party at work on the first day. Some work, some controversy. Here's a look at how they spent their day.
A walkout at their first ever press conference after the first cabinet meeting. For AAP 2.0, day one began with great expectations but did not end on a happy note. Day one of AAP Government 2.0 saw a complete restriction of press from entering the Delhi Secretariat. No reporter, print or otherwise, even those accredited by the Delhi and central government, were allowed to enter inside the premises. No clear answers were given, and when the Deputy Chief Minister came in to address the media, he was confronted with some tough questions, which he could not answer and had to walk away from the first press conference.
मीडिया कार्ड जो होता है, हम लोग कार्ड बनाते हैं, वो कार्ड हमको अधिकार देता है कि सचिवालय या किसी भी सरकारी भवन में हम जा सकते हैं। अधिकारी या मंत्री मिले न मिले उसका विशेषाधिकार है, लेकिन इस पे तो कहीं रोक थी ही नहीं कभी।
But before the walkout, the cabinet had a busy day. Demolition in residential areas is now prohibited under a Delhi government order. But since the Delhi government actually does not own any land, this could be seen as public posturing. Home Minister Jitendra Singh Tomar wrote to DG Home Guards to start the process of deploying Home Guards at the DTC buses. And Health Minister Satyendra Jain held a review meeting on swine flu cases in the city. So far, so good, at least as far as administration is concerned, if not on the communication front. The question now is, can the Kejriwal government deliver its other populist promises? And are they even feasible? With camera person Sachin in New Delhi, Sonal Mehrotra, NDTV.
Well, to ask some of these important questions and take this debate further in the studio from the Aam Aadmi Party, Atishi Marlena, their spokesperson, from the Congress, spokesperson Rashmikant also joining us. We're hoping for the BJP Sambit Patra to join us as well, and Aarti Jairat, always here to put everything in perspective for us. Aarti, thanks very much for being in studio as well. Atishi Marlena, I want to start with you. Why this decision to keep the media out today on the first day? What was that all about?
First of all, Maya, I must tell you that this was not a decision which was actually taken by the Aam Aadmi Party. It was a decision taken by the Delhi administration before the Aam Aadmi Party government was formed. From the day we came into power, we had already assured all the journalists that we will ensure that we will look into the matter and there would be some kind of structured interaction that would be arranged. In fact, I have with me here today, this is the press invite we actually gave to the press as well, about how they could come in at 4 p.m., how they could have access to the Secretariat from between 4 and 4:30, and then 4:30 onwards there would be a press conference. I think that the press, however, was a bit agitated that they had not been allowed earlier in the day, but we assured everyone that this would be sorted out soon.
Okay. All right. But essentially...
Also, one more thing. Yeah. I don't think the minister walked out of the press conference. It's just that the media, being unhappy with not being allowed entry throughout the day, actually said that they would not switch on their cameras.
You're sounding dangerously like all the other political parties. It's always the media's fault. It's only your first day in government.
No, absolutely not. But this is the course of events. In fact, I'm sure if you ask Sonal, who was present at the Secretariat during the day, that it was the media persons who said they would not cover the press conference.
All right.
And once that happened, we actually then, whatever we had to say in the press conference, we sent out in a press release, and that's where you
all
have
right.
this
So having
information
said
about
that, that's the day's sort of controversy as they start off. But what we're looking at is two things. One is that there's a lot of promises that they've come in on. Today already this statement on no demolitions will take place has drawn a lot of flack because there are concerns over all kinds of civic issues in Delhi. Now, the Chief Minister and this government has come in with many promises. Mr. Rashmikant, your party ran Delhi for 15 years. The idea of bringing the police under its control, for example, how difficult was it for you, and how do you see this challenge going forward for the Aam Aadmi Party?
I think it was very difficult, and considering the fact that in the centre and Delhi both, you are the same party. Now the fact that you have a different party in the centre and a different party in the state might probably make things a little more difficult. Now what kind of equation the Aam Aadmi Party drives with the centre, I don't know as yet. But to react to some of the other issues that Atishi was talking about earlier, now you have a DIB card, that is Delhi Information Bureau, like a PIB card, which gives unlimited access to...
Well, our PIB card doesn't get us anywhere right now at the centre, so I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Well, I'm talking about the UPA time. I know about the UPA time at least. So
no, including in the UPA time. It stopped access. No, they stopped access.
Okay, fine, but it is fundamentally theoretically supposed to get it, and Aam Aadmi Party is, in all fairness, it's the first day, and I don't think one should sort of enter into any sort of criticism.
Right.
But one should certainly think that they've made 70 promises, like you're talking about Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But when you talk about Wi-Fi, I mean, it seems there's a certain amount of half-truths in it. For example, you say something in your manifesto which is probably says half an hour, but here is an ad which comes out. This is what people read. It says, 5 saal Kejriwal, puri Delhi mein free Wi-Fi denge. What's the impression you get? The impression you get is that you're going to get free Wi-Fi 24 hours. That's the impression you get. It doesn't, there is no terms and conditions, T&Cs. There is no caveats in it.
Okay, all right, no caveats. But presuming people don't expect free Wi-Fi coming into their homes.
Terms and conditions are always in the fine print.
Yeah, in the fine print. But Aarti, if I can ask you,
there's no fine print here also.
The fact of the matter is that a lot of these promises that they're talking about actually are going to weigh on the exchequer. I mean, when in the 49-day government, when they slashed electricity prices, for example, when they relinquished power, we were paying those bills, I think, until very recently, and possibly still are, as the arrears keep adding up in some of our bills. Now, the Delhi police, for example, 5,000 crore budget for the police annually. Where is all this money going to come from?
No, I mean, listen, Maya, obviously things have to be worked out. But, you know, I do believe that there is a difference between mindless populism and a government trying to work out ways and means to make basic necessities more affordable for as many people as possible.
Right.
And I think that, you know, if somebody is willing to, you know, sort of do that, and somebody is putting in the effort to do that, I think we should support it.
In fact, many neighborhoods of Delhi got water tankers for the first time today after months, which is a really good thing. Yeah.
On the very first day, people didn't expect it.
I think we have to wait and see how this pans out before we pass judgment.
Okay.
And the difference between Aam Aadmi Party 1 and Aam Aadmi Party 2 is that this time I think they've come a little more prepared. You know, last time the government came on them very suddenly.
They mentioned in their campaigns as well that they've learned from what the mistakes that they made.
They've looked at the, sort of fine details.
The difficult the portion in this is that you see the statement that is coming from the BJP and the Prime Minister.
I think we'll just take that. Sambit Patra is with us, so let's just take that to him. Sambit Patra, the question that everybody is asking, this is the new government in Delhi. They've certainly got one of the largest mandates in electoral history in the country. Give them a chance to do their work. The centre is talking about cooperation with the Aam Aadmi Party, but is there any reason for us to be a little skeptical of how much cooperation there will be? We've already had statements from the Prime Minister and the Home Minister on how politicians shouldn't make empty promises on things like power when states don't control that.
Maya, two things. First and foremost, I believe Aarti was absolutely right in saying that we should not pass judgments too quickly. It is just that they are new in government, and there is no reason as to why I should be criticizing a government from the very first day.
Right.
But having said that, the second point that you are asking, I mean, as to why Mr. Narendra Modi spoke about the bit of electricity thing, let me put the whole thing in perspective. I have heard the whole half-an-hour long speech. It was one of the best speeches delivered by the Prime Minister as far as renewable energy is concerned. if you look into the whole speech, the Prime Minister made this speech with a scientific temperament, and what we are trying to do is, we are trying to give political overtones to it. In fact, if you would see the first part of the speech, if you hear the first part of the speech, he said that in fact everyone, each one of us have to change our lifestyle, you know. He said that we go and spend 15 minutes in the gym on a treadmill, spend electricity there, we go to the airport and then we take an escalator and spend electricity there. He told that even me, I mean, he was pointing towards himself, that even I take an escalator. So he was analyzing the whole thing. He said that India in fact has to see to it that energy resources come up, solar energy, green energy, biomasses, these are added.
Right.
And as such, every political party, he did not name a particular political party, he said every political party has to come out of this and have really to contribute towards resources.
All right, we heard what the Prime Minister said. So, I mean, you're repeating that verbatim doesn't really help. When the question really is, and Atishi, I'm going to bring this to you. Sambit Patra,
no, Maya, you might have heard it, but did not understand the way he wanted you to understand.
All right. So, Sambit Patra is clarifying whatever has been misunderstood from the Prime Minister's speech. But having said that, yes, you know, electricity is the prerogative and is owned by the nation, not just an individual state. But are you concerned about the statements that you've heard from the centre today?
I think that it's too early to get into a confrontation with the centre, and I think I would also suggest to the BJP that now we are out of the election mode. So let us not constantly stay in this oppositional state. Let us see how we can all work towards actually improving the lives of citizens in Delhi. And I think it's very clear the BJP themselves had repeatedly said that they're going to slash electricity tariffs. We even saw hoardings saying that they would also promise 50%.
In fact, across political parties, that was a promise in the Delhi campaign. I saw Congress hoardings as well saying they'll reduce electricity prices.
No, absolutely. And the Prime Minister in his first speech at Ramlila Maidan talked about, you know, competitive distribution and so on.
Yeah, Atishi, carry on.
So as I was saying, that the Aam Aadmi Party has worked out a very detailed agenda which consists of some short-term measures, some medium-term measures and some long-term measures that will actually reduce electricity bills and their burden on the people of Delhi.
Atishi, tell me something, if I can just interrupt you and ask you, a lot of, as we said when we introduced the show, a lot of the measures that you're talking about as well also require participation by the citizens. Now, Delhi is notorious for a lack of civic sense and a sense of community very often. How do you manage, or how are you likely to actually tackle something so basic?
I think that people actually don't participate in political affairs in democracy more because they feel that their vote doesn't matter, that their participation doesn't matter. I think the fact that we've had a historic turnout this time, and that historic turnout has been combined with the historic mandate, actually goes to show that if people feel that their vote and their participation makes a difference, they do participate.
Right, all right.
And we actually, I do feel that we would like to also introduce greater structures in the governance of Delhi, whereby people can actually participate.
All right, before I come to you, Mr. Rashmikan, I just want Aarti to come in on that, because they've talked about the Mohalla Sabhas. And,
absolutely. I was just going to say that.
But we've had RWAs that have been so ineffective.
No, you know, the problem, Maya, is that over the years, we've seen that when a party gets into government, the party just somehow goes to sleep. And everything gets concentrated in government, and the government is made responsible for everything. You know, the point is, you have a party organization. If a government takes a decision, they should involve the party organization in going out and talking to people and trying to, you know, get people involved in that decision.
So which is what the sort of role that the Chief Minister is envisaging for himself is about.
Absolutely. And this volunteer force that turned out at election time, I mean, surely that can be tapped and used to, you know, involve people in decision making and in implementation of whatever decisions the government takes.
Yeah,
you know, you can't let the party just go to sleep.
Yeah.
No, I just thought that Atishi has made a Freudian slip when she said it's too early to come into confrontation with the government. So what's the right time to come into confrontation with the central government? So I think basically there is definitely a political spin to what the Prime Minister said about energy. There's no doubt about it, because he says Delhi is a state which buys power from other states. So how can you take that for granted?
All right, Sambit Patra, I want to bring this back to you as well, because of course as we talk about centre and state, we also have a situation in Delhi where the MCD and our corporators, many of them are with the BJP. The MCD is controlled by the BJP, and the MCD is possibly the most hated organization by the citizens of Delhi for a number of reasons. Now, how are you going to actually get them to work with the government that's running Delhi now?
A very interesting phenomena is taking place, Maya. I mean, whatever I speak right now is with due diligence and with great deal of respect to my opposition parties. But the interesting thing is, I mean, everyone is grilling the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson as if the mandate in Delhi is to the Bharatiya Janata Party to deliver everything. Well, yes, we have umpteen number of times spoken of constructive cooperation, which I promise, which I assure that we are going to deliver. But right from the beginning, it is being said that 50% बिजली का दाम तो आपने भी कहा था कम करने के लिए, शायद जनता को पसंद नहीं आया. People probably did not like. That's the reason as to why they voted for Aam Aadmi Party. We had our own roadmap. We said that we will reduce 50% by competitive electrification of the city. We will reduce 50% by the use of LED bulbs. We will raise 50% by alternative source of renewable energy like solar, biomass and green energy. If the Aam Aadmi Party has any doubt, they can come to us. We will surely share our roadmap with them also. We will cooperate with them.